Recently, I wanted to do a few macro shots, but I didn't have the budget to go out and buy a dedicated macro lens. So I started researching and I found a very cheap solution. I was actually surprised how well it works. So watch until the end and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. And no, this isn't the old trick of turning your lens around. This one is actually more practical. So firstly, if you don't know what a macro shot is, it's basically an extreme close-up shot where you're able to capture a lot more detail of a subject, especially when they are much smaller, like flowers, insects, and very tiny objects. So when I was researching, I came across a brand called JJC. They sell a pack of 4 filters with different magnifications and thread sizes. The pack I got was a 67mm thread with magnifications of +2, +4, +8 and +10, which costs around $20 and comes with a very nice pouch. For the price, it seemed like a small investment, so I decided to try it out. And by the way, this isn't sponsored in any way, I just thought it would be nice to show you this alternative in case you didn't know. These filters both work for photography and video, but today I'm only gonna focus on video because that's mainly what I do. I'll also share a few essential steps you need to follow to make sure you get the best possible result. Now, the lens I used for this was a Tamron 28-75 f2.8, and these clips were all shot in 4K at 24 fps with my Sony a7S III. So I started off with no filters, and at 75mm this is what I got. I tried to keep the minimum focusing distance that the lens allowed. And now this is with the +2 filter. By the way, I'm very happy I hired this bee to be able to pose for the shot. I think it was money well spent. Now moving on to the +4. The +8. And the +10. I have to admit, I was very surprised at the performance of these filters, but you do have to follow a few essential steps to be able to get good results. First thing is to use a tripod to make sure your shots are completely stable. Second, make sure you use manual focus to avoid any hunting from the autofocus or the lens. And third, use high apertures. This not only helps you with focus, but you will get less blur around the edges of the subject. Also, these filters allow you to stack them together if you want to get more reach. But from my experience, you get more blur and it's a little harder to focus. But anyway, I was so happy with the initial result that I decided to run another test, and this time I tried filming my girlfriend's beautiful eye. Again, at 75mm, this one is with no filter. Then +2. +4, +8, and +10. So what do you think about these results? I don't know about you, but to me, like I said, I was very surprised at the amount of detail I was able to capture using these filters, especially considering how much I paid for them. Obviously, as you would expect, there are a few drawbacks. I did notice that the higher magnification you go for, the softer your image will look, and sometimes you will have a bit of trouble focusing on your subject. So make sure you use a tripod, you use manual focus, and you use high apertures to make sure you're able to focus on your subject properly. Also, keep in mind that typically the longer lens you use, the better results you will have. Anything from 70mm upwards and you will start noticing how much closer you can get to a subject. So yeah, these obviously won't replace a proper macro lens, but I can't really justify investing money into a dedicated lens just to do the occasional macro shot here and there. I do think these filters work good for me, so I'm gonna keep them in my kit and use them whenever I need. Maybe in the future I can invest in a macro, who knows. And that's it for this video. If you have any questions, just make sure to drop a comment below, and if you enjoyed watching this, please consider subscribing to my channel. I will see you in the next one.